Okay, guys. Good morning, everyone. It's not sure. Okay. So, in last class, we discussed about different types of testings. Okay. So now let's discuss some more discussions on what are the different types of testings. So did we discuss smoke and sanity? Okay. Risk. Okay. So we have to discuss about risk-based testing. Okay. So in the interviews, people will ask what is risk-based testing. They won't ask this question directly. So I had seen in every interview they are asking about risk-based testing, but in any of the interviews they won't ask this question directly. What is risk-based testing? They won't ask you like that. They will ask you the question like this. So there is you have only 2 days of time, and you have to complete all 500 test cases within 2 days, and your team is also on leave, and you are the complete responsible person to complete all the testing. What you will do? This is the question they are asking. Understood? So ideally to execute 500 test cases, at least 5 members are required, and it might take at least 1 month of time. Okay, because of something went wrong, that the project team is asking to execute all 500 test cases within 2 weeks, within 2 days. But all of your team members is on vacation or some leave. So what you will do? How do you ensure that you will complete all the testing, and you are the only responsible person to complete that testing? So like this, people are asking this question. So in that case, you have to explain like this. Ideally, I cannot complete all the test cases. So practically, it's not. I cannot complete all the 500 test cases within 2 days. So out of those 500 test cases, at least I can execute whichever is P1 critical, P1 critical functionalities. I can test those functionalities. So out of those 500, at least there could be 50 test cases. I can pick it and I can execute those 50 end-to-end test functional flows. So I will try to execute all those 50 P1 test case execution test cases so that I can confident on the build. It should not affect to the major functionalities. So like that, I can do risk-based testing. If I am having time, then I can focus on P2 test cases later. Okay. So ideally, I can complete all P1 test cases. See, so you have, so here I haven't given that much of explanation, but you have to tell like that. Ideally, I cannot complete all 500 test cases within 2 days. I can do risk-based testing. Whichever is high critical P1 parts, those test cases only I can execute. If I have time, then I can focus on P2 test cases. See, I will execute test case only because I can't execute all in short span of time. At least I will try to execute P1 test case completion, and if I have time, I will try to execute P2 test case. Okay. So cycle one 3 days time, 75 passed and 20. So okay, this is the example I had. So everyone is clear what is risk-based testing. So in interview, they are not asking directly what is risk-based. You have only 2 days of time and you have to complete all the 1,000 test cases within 2 days. What is your approach? How will you ensure that you will cover all the testing? So this question they are asking. Module testing. Okay, module testing means testing of independent component is known as module testing. See, testing of individual component is known as module testing or standalone module functionality before integrating with the other modules. Suppose if you take Amazon application, you are selecting different categories from different products, and cart items are displayed in the page. So up to this functionality, it's a standalone functionality. But whenever you are clicking on the buy button, it's navigating through some third-party payment transactions. So that is the functionality. It is happening from other side. And once the transaction is successful, you are back to this page. So testing of individual application standalone functionality of a particular module is known as component testing. Okay. So here in this application, wherever items you have selected, up to that functionality, we can call it as a component test. After integrating the submodules, verifying the end functionality is known as integration testing. Did we discuss regression and retesting? We already discussed, right? This one. Volume testing, we discussed. Localization, dynamic testing, we haven't discussed about static testing and dynamic testing. Okay. Now let's come back. What is static testing? Static testing means before receiving the build, whatever activities that we are performing, those all comes under static testing. Before receiving the build, what are the activities as a tester we are doing? First, what we are doing? We are going through the FSD documents. And after that, what we are doing? Preparation of test scenarios and test cases. And what we are doing? Giving test scenarios walkthroughs to stakeholders. And we are taking test scenarios review comments, peer reviews and external reviews. And we are checking all the test environment logins are working or not before receiving the build. So these are all activities which comes under static testing. Dynamic testing means once after receiving the build, whatever testings and validations we are doing, all those comes under dynamic testing. Okay. So component testing, integration testing, functional acceptance testing. As part of functional acceptance testing, we are doing new functionalities and regression testing. And smoke testing, sanity testing, regression testing, all these comes under dynamic testing. Static testing means writing of test scenarios preparation, giving test scenarios walkthroughs, doing internal peer reviews, doing external reviews. So these are all activities it can be called as static testing. Okay, let's come back to static testing. So here static testing, it can be done like informal reviews, walkthroughs, peer reviews, inspection. So we need to understand what is this. Okay. So informal meeting. So the name itself, it is having the definition, informal. So we haven't informed formally. So tomorrow I will come and I will check it. I haven't informed. I came randomly and I'm testing whether you are doing properly or not, whether you are writing test scenarios, test cases properly or not. I'm reviewing. Okay. So informal reviews means there is no prior notification. And whatever activities the testers are doing, I'm coming and I'm checking. So it could be business analyst, it could be your test lead, or it could be your test manager. So informal reviews means without prior notification. Walkthroughs. So whatever activities that you are doing, so testers, they will give test scenarios walkthroughs to beyond designers. And business analyst, they will give user stories walkthroughs to testing team and development team. Okay. So those are called walkthrough sessions. Peer reviews. Peer reviews means the test cases it is reviewed internally. Hello? చెప్పండి లేదు ఆఫీస్లో ఉన్నా చెప్పు ఆఫీస్లో ఉన్నా అవునా నేను క్లాస్ అయిపోయాను కాల్ చేస్తాను. So peer reviews means that test cases scenarios it will be reviewed by our team member. And inspection means one second. Inspection is our formal type of reviews. Means tomorrow I'm coming and I'm checking. So it's a formal review. Okay. So one second. Walkthrough. Walkthrough is the software test. If you follow the team. Okay. So these we can call it as a reviews, informal reviews, walkthroughs, peer reviews, inspection. So these are the activities are part of static testing. So static analysis means data flow diagrams, control flow diagrams. Okay. So you are going through this part. So before receiving the build, whatever activities you are analyzing, doing analysis, understanding, those all comes under static. Okay, right. So static testing is done. So coming back to UAT testing, we discussed, right? Security testing done, usability testing, static testing. Okay. Huh? Yeah. Okay. So yesterday we have left with white box testing and black box testing. Okay. So what is meant by white box testing means it is nothing but unit testing. White box testing we can also call it as a unit testing. So the unit testing means it is nothing but code testing. So the code testing will be done by the developers. So they won't check all the functionalities, but testers has to test all 1,000 functionalities. But with respect to their code, they will check whether the if conditions are working fine or not, whether the else conditions are working fine or not. So with respect to their code, they will check all the functionalities are working. So hardly they can test at least 10 or 15 test cases. So they will write unit test cases with respect to their code. So unit testing is nothing but code testing. So white box testing will be done by the developers. Okay, what's it? And what is mean by block box testing? What is mean by block box testing? Block box testing we can classify into two things: functional testing and non-functional testing. Functional testing we already discussed: unit testing, integration testing, all these things. Non-functional means performance, compatibility, all these things we had already discussed. Okay, right. Gray box testing means, okay, one second, gray box. I didn't remember. In interviews, they won't ask this question. Okay, gray box means it's a combination of black box testing and white box testing. Okay, generally we won't do gray box testing because black box testing means it will be done by the functional testers. White box testing it will be done by the developers. Black box testing means nothing but functional testing. So module testing, integration testing, and regression testing, new functional testing. All this comes under functional black box testing. So gray box means it's a combination of white and black box, but no, it won't be mixed actually. So you cannot consider gray box test. Okay. Okay, now let's come back to what are the other important things. Priority, severity, Agile Scrum methodologies. First line is completed. RTM test estimations and risk-based testing. Risk-based testing done. Okay. Effect parameter exploration. Okay. Verification and validation. People are asking what is mean by. So we can also call it as a V model. V model. So the left hand side we can call it as a verification, and left hand side we can call it as a validation. So some projects they might follow V model approach. Some projects the test methodology they might follow Agile Scrum methodology. Some projects they might follow V model. What is V model? Verification and validation. Verification means are we building the product in right direction or not? So before developing the product, the BRD and FRD documents it has to be ready. So on the left hand side we have to make sure, and peer reviews, external reviews, walkthroughs, inspections will come under verification activities. Verification ensures that the product is being built according to the requirements and design specification. So the test scenario and test cases that we are writing according to the specification documents. Simply verification activities includes reviewing the plans, requirement specification, design documents, test planning, test cases, test scenarios, developing correctly or not. So whatever documents that you are doing, all those going perfectly or not. Okay. And these activities will be performed prior to receiving the build in test environment to check the build is developing right direction or not. Okay. Suppose there is a house construction that I have to do. What I will do? I cannot uh, I cannot start the work immediately. So I can do some analysis part to construct the house. What is the material I have to buy? Okay. So as per my house needs, I need to buy these items, these things I have to be ready. So whatever activities that you are doing, once all are ready, you are building the house. So this right hand side, whatever you are doing, so construction, step by step you are developing. So that comes under validation. Okay. So validations ensures are we building the right product, right product. So and validation means actual testing of the product developed as per the user needs and customer acceptance criteria met or not. So simply to check test expected result and actual result is met or not on the build, because during verification you have written only expected results only, but during execution phase you are updating actual results, status, defect, all these things. So validation means actual testing. So each for every step you are validating the expected actual results are meeting expected results or not. So validation activities will be performed once we receive the build in the test environment, and we will do different types of testings like smoke, sanity, regression, all these things. So will be performed. The build is developed as per the user needs and client expectation met or not. Okay. So simply we can say verification means uh, before receiving the activity, build receiving the activities. Validation means after receiving the build, whatever activities it comes all under validation activities. Okay. And in V model, the project's duration, it could be 3 to 4 months. In Agile model, what is the duration of the monthly? It is a monthly releases in Agile Scrum. Okay. Here the requirements are freezed. But in Agile Scrum methodology, the requirements might change, design changes and requirement changes will be there in Agile Scrum. Okay. But here the requirements are freezed. So whatever it has been agreed in the initially, next 3 months, those things, it will be delivered accurately. But in Agile Scrum, today I had given some user story. So tomorrow or day after tomorrow, the client may come and no, I don't want like this, I want like this. So that kind of flexibility is there in Agile. But in V model, there won't be requirement or design changes. So like that. And duration of the project is 3 to 4 months. So after 3 months only, next release will be happened, quarterly based. Okay, waterfall model. So what is the test methodology that you are following? Means people might tell waterfall model as well. So waterfall model, V model, Agile Scrum model. So in the interviews, you have to tell about Agile Scrum model, because every company, every project, they are following this approach. Waterfall model is a step-by-step approach. Until one phase is completed, next phase cannot be started. See here requirements, design, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance. So after completion of requirement phase only design is starting. After completion of design only the next phase is starting. So we can call it as a step-by-step approach. Until one phase is completed, next phase cannot be started. Whereas in Agile Scrum, the testers also involving from requirement phase, and developers also involving from user stories, walkthrough sessions. And when design team is there, design during the designers, whatever sessions they are conducting about HLD, LLD sessions. So the testing team and development team is joining. So in each phase, all the people are joining parallelly. Okay. But here, once after completion of requirements preparation, the next activity designers will start. So there won't be any interaction between the teams in waterfall model, because once their phase is completed, they will work on different project. Once design phase is completed, they will work for different project. Okay. So after completion of requirement only design will be started, design only development. So hence waterfall model, we can call it as a sequential approach. So lack of communication gaps in each phase. If mistake is done at one phase, it will continue for remaining phases as well. And it is only suitable for small scale projects only. It won't be suitable for big projects, because if enterprise project got affected, it will be a lot of charges. It will be affected by the client. If you done at one mistake any phase, it will be carried out in design phase. It will be carried out in development and testing. So these are the points you have to tell about waterfall model. And waterfall model is only suitable for small scale projects only. It is not suitable for enterprise scale projects. Okay, did we discuss about the testing definitions? So in the interviews, testing is the application software perfectly working fine or not as per the client requirements. Verifying all functional requirements are correctly working fine or not as per the requirements and action. So as a tester, we have to identify all issues or defects in the early stage. And we have to report it in the system so that all issues fixed by development team on time. So you can tell first 3 points about testing definitions. If anybody will ask, you have to tell this thing. Developer is not agreed an issue we discussed, right? First, I will check BRD, FRD documents. Is this question will be discussed or not? No, I will replicate in different browser combinations, mobile devices. I told developer is not agreeing a defect. I think I already told this question. No, no. Developer raised an issue. Tester has raised an issue, but developer is not agreeing that issue. Yeah. Hmm. One second. So here white box testing we discussed right previously. So unit testing is nothing but code testing. Development team will check code coverage, high level technical functional flows, how system is working, when it is true or false conditions, if else conditions, and loop conditions like while, do while loops, for loops, statement coverages and path coverages. So there are in white box testing, there are mainly 4 techniques are there: statement coverage, branch coverage, path coverage, and loop coverage. Statement coverage means whatever statements are there. Suppose if you go to if condition, this line has to print. If you go to else condition, that line has to print. So you have to mention each and if else conditions tested properly by developer. And branch statement means you have to print each statement at least once. You have to test each and every statement output tested by developer. That is called statement cover. If you are going only if condition and you haven't tested that else condition statement, that is so as part of statement coverage, you have to make sure each and every statement tested at least once. Okay. Branch coverage means executing every branch coverage is covered and executed at least once. So there are 5 lines you have written, and 6th line you have written if condition and else condition. If condition means yes, else condition means no. So you have to ensure each and every branch condition. Okay. So previously I told each and every statement. Path coverage means we discussed about state model diagram. State model diagram. So from starting to in the testing techniques we discussed. Where is that? Path coverage. So here I have to test each and every path. So for this diagram we tested this is one flow, second. So this is one flow, one. So how many paths are available? Open, new, active, closed. This is one path. So new, active, closed. So straightforward from new to closed, that is one path. New, active to closed, that is second path. New, active to frozen, that is third path. Frozen to active, that is fourth. So the complex, so the path, how many number of paths in this program means I can traverse from new to closed, that is one path. New active to closed, that is second path. New active to frozen, that is third path. New active to frozen to back to active. So how many number of paths are there? 4 paths. So you have to make sure each and every path is visited and tested. as per the path coverage. Okay, where is that? White box testing. Every path coverage is executed at least once. And loop coverage means so the testers they will test their code with respect to while loop, for loop, and do while loops. So these are the testing. What are the so during unit testing, developers will use different testing techniques as statement coverage, branch coverage, path coverage, and loop coverage. Okay, ad hoc testing we haven't discussed. So in interviews, people are asking what is meant by ad hoc testing. So ad hoc testing is a informal and unplanned approach to software testing. Okay. Suppose I had given 200 new functionalities and 800 new test cases. In week 2, you have planned you completed all your testing on Thursday, but you have still one more day. But all the 5 members, I cannot keep it to you just like that because you have completed all the 1,000 tests. But on 5th day, as a project manager or as a test lead, I told you, guys, you can do ad hoc testing for today because you already completed all the 1,000 test cases. Everyone can do ad hoc testing. So that is the instruction came from test manager or test lead. So what testers will do as part of ad hoc testing means based on user experience. Based on their past experience, users will try to break the system. Okay, wherever loopholes are there. Suppose there are buttons are not aligned properly, labels are not aligned correctly, okay, and roundup values are not calculating perfectly because this is all your past experience. And so whatever issues out of the box of requirements might be you can find out. Okay. So you will try to break the system by clicking randomly everywhere. So the system is giving expected pop-up messages or not, you are randomly testing. Okay. So based on your user experience, there won't be any planned test cases in ad hoc testing because all planned test cases are already completed. So ad hoc testing means it is an informal and unplanned approach to test the software. Okay. Once all planned test case has been completed, so we will do ad hoc testing because we have 1 more or 2 more days time to come to do some kind of thorough testing, to do some kind of negative testings. So based on the user experience, we will test the applications. That is known as ad hoc testing. Now let's come back to defect leak case. Defect leakage means something got missed. Leakage, something got missed means that issue you have not identified during in the test environment. During your test window in the second week, in week 2, I had given all these 1,000 test cases, but with the improper testing, okay, might be your incorrect understanding. You passed 2 test cases. And that issue got encountered after test environment. What is the next environment? Yesterday we discussed development environment, test environment, UAT environment, after that production environment. Okay, so the issues you missed in test environment. Actually, you have to fail those test cases, but you incorrect understanding of the tester, he passed those test cases, but those issues caught in higher environments like UAT environment and production environment. Okay, those issues caught in. So the defect leakage means the defects are missed in test environment and those are caught in higher environments. It's called defect leakage. Number of missing defects is called defect leakage. Number of missing defects in the test environment, we can call it as a defect leakage. The defects which are missed in test environment and same those are caught in higher environments like we can call it as a defect leakage. Simply defect leakage is nothing but number of missed or uncovered defects during testing. So how many number of defects are missed before code move into production? Okay. So if defect leakage is very high, quality bound manner, if defect leakage is high, can we say quality of the product is good or not? Because you haven't identified so many issues leakage. If defect leakage is high means quality of the testing is not good. because UAT testers means those are client side people. Okay, so they all are identified that these people not doing proper testing, the defect leakage is very high. So when the when the code is migrated to UAT environment, if the UAT testing found 10 defects, means 10 defects are missed by testing team. Correct? So if defect leakage is low, there is only 1 or 2 defects. So can we say it's a good quality of the product? So like that. So low quality of testing and defect leakage is low means high quality of testing. So defect leakage is one of the metric. Metric means measurement to measure the quality of a QA testing. Okay. Suppose defect leakage is how much if I am testing, there is 15. Defect leakage means the quality of the testing is not good. Defect leakage is 1 or 2 or 3 hardly. Yeah, the quality of the software is good. Let's go this code to production. Okay, so let's fix these 3 defects in the UAT environment. So the final version of UAT code it can push into production. So defect leakage is the one of the metric. Metric means measurement, quality of a QA testing. So defect density. Defect density. So defect density can be defined as number of confirmed bugs in the software. Number of confirmed bugs in the software application during the period of development divided by the size of the software. Okay. So for module 1 there are 5 defects. For module 2 there are 10 defects. Module 3 20, module 4 15, module 5 bugs. So total bugs how many? 55. So module 1 how many lines of code the developer has written? 500 lines. Module 2 1000. So total lines of code is 5500. So defect density is equal to total bugs by total lines of code. So 0.01 defects lines of code. So for every 1000 lines of code, how many defects are there? 0.01 defect. So if 10 defects, there are 10 defects for every 1000 lines of code. Got it? So this defect density means how many number of defects for each module, and defect density is nothing but total confirmed defects by total lines of code. So it indicates the how much quality of the testing. So this defect density is also one of the parameter to measure the quality of QA testing. Okay. So generally people will use defect leakage parameter while reporting the test lead. He will publish how many defects are missed. So the UAT test lead, he will maintain this information. How many number of defects got missed by testers in the test environment. Defect aging. Defect aging. Defect aging means what is the age of a particular defect? What is the age of particular defect? Because you raised a defect. When you log the defect, detected on date field value will be auto populated. So detected on date means suppose you logged it 5 days back and today's date is something else. Okay. So the calculation from that date to this date, we can call it as a 5 days. Defect aging particularly calculated for open defects. For closed defects, we won't consider. See here, defect status open, defect status fixed, defect status pending retest. So the first defect is not fixed, not closed from past 5 days. The second defect not closed from past 3 days. The third defect not closed from past 2 days. For closed defects, we should not populate any value because we have to make it as 0. Okay. So means the defect was closed within 3 days. So defect aging is equal to today's date minus defect detected on date. So how long the defect is open? How long the defect not closed? How many days the defect? Suppose you have reported 10 defects and all the 10 defects, defect is 7 days. Is it a good quality of testing? No. If defect aging is 1 or 2, then it's fine. But if defect aging is 5 or 10 days, the defect was not closed from past 5 or 10 days. So the quality of the testing is not good. So the test lead, he will send a defect aging report to clients and test managers to and everyone. Okay, because defect aging report is very important for them. If any defect is 5 days, 10 days, they will call the corresponding testers why this defect was not closed from past 10 days. So this defect aging reports will be helpful for the higher level managers. Bug caught in production. Did we discuss this issue? So defect leakage we understood, right? Defect leakage means the defect was missed in test environment and caught in higher environment. If issue identified in higher environments, that issue we can call it as a bug. So it could be in UAT or it could be in production. If issue identified in test environment and that issue mismatch between expected and actual result, we are calling it as a defect. So sometimes, so bug caught in production means bug caught in production. A bug was caught in production. Can you please justify how you will justify to management? That is the question people are asking in the interviews. A bug caught in production, what you will justify? What is the thing? Did you encounter this kind of issue? This question people are asking. So you have to tell, yeah, sometimes 100% of testing is not possible because you have to execute all 1000 test cases. But because of so many defects, all the functionalities we haven't completed on time, and we haven't done proper testing. Sometimes there could be some functionalities are missed, incorrect understanding of tester or something else, or the tester has taken invalid test data and they have tested. So might be they have taken closed accounts and they have performed changing address like that. So sometimes 100% of testing is not possible. We can cross check our test scenarios and test cases how it is missed during our testing, because you have to explain. I don't know how this functionality was missed. Might be I have to check it my test scenarios and test cases. This particular functionality, even though I had given test scenarios walkthrough session as well, but I am not sure. Nobody has given review comment to test this functionality. Like that, this functionality got missed to add in our test scenarios. So this is one of the reason you can tell justification. Sometimes 100% of testing is not possible. You have to begin the line like that, and immediately we can cross check our test scenarios and test cases how it is missed during our test scenarios walkthrough session. Is it missed because of incorrect testing approach? Is it missed because of last minute code changes? Okay, last minute and day one, and after code is freezed. Code freeze means once code is freezed on Friday, no one should do any kind of testing. But on Saturday, people came and done some test. Friday evening, development team done some after code freeze. They should not modify any of the code. But after code freeze, also developers modified the code, so it might affect some other functionalities. So is it missed because of last minute code or configuration changes done by the development team? Like that, this functionality got missed. It could be the reason. Is it missed because of requirements gap or incorrect requirement? Might be the BA has missed this functionality. Is it missed because of design documents gap or technical design document in the system? Or any environment configuration deployments missed? So environments means application related configurations or softwares not properly installed on the system. So such kind of root cause analysis we will do from our end. Okay. So we will analyze. These could be the reasons. Such kind of root cause analysis we will do from our end. If it is genuinely missed from our testing side, we will accept. We can add it to our regression testing suite. We can make sure 100% it can be executed for every release, and we can take it as a process improvement. This is the last line is very important in the interface. If it is genuinely missed, we have to accept it, and we will add it to regression suite. For upcoming releases, 100% it can be executed. Okay. No doubt, people are asking this question. Bug missed in production. So you have to explain all these explanation in the interview. Okay. How the bug caught in production? What is your justification? You have to tell all this explanation. So once you join in a project, there is no proper documentation. There is no proper documentation. BRD, FRD documents contain short summary information. So you are not able to understand what system has to test perfectly. And the testers test cases documents also not, sometimes you are not understanding perfectly. Okay. So you joined in a new project. There is no proper documents. What you will do as a tester? This is the question people are asking in the interviews. I need to check, I need to cross check with the team. Is there any existing documents available in the SharePoint? First, related to system, is there any existing documents? I will ask this first question. We have to set up a meeting discussion with BA, designer, and developer because they are the people closely working on the system. So I can set up a meeting with BAs, designers, development team, and after meeting, minutes of meeting discussion, it will be updated to everyone that I'm going to test these functionalities. Because when there is no proper documentation, I have to align the meeting and I am going to test these things. So you have to set the expectation to everyone. We can closely work with the development team and try to understand the functionality as well. Because development and testing team, they will sit beside side by side only. So we can closely work with the development team and we can ask them what is the functionality, what is this. So you will get all the possible ways how to understand the system. We can cross check the technical documents used by development team. Okay. And I will go through the existing regression suite, regression test case, which is previously already written. And I will refer related old documents as well. And after that, I can get some basic understanding of the functionalities and expected application validations. Okay. So all these 5 points you have to explain. When there is no proper documents, what you will do. So I will set up the meeting request. I will set up closely work with the development team, and I can go through the technical documents, and I will go through the existing regression suite, and I can get some knowledge on the application. So like that I can. So when there is no proper BRD and FRD documents, so you need to work out all this process, and you need to get what system to be tested as per the client requirements. Okay, 1 second. So now we have, so almost in manual testing, 70% of the syllabus got covered. Okay, and then next, what is today? So by next week, we can complete all the manual testing concept, whatever is left. Okay, so all the videos I have uploaded in SharePoint, 1 or 2 videos pending to upload, those also I uploaded. So I will cross check anyway. In the SharePoint, everything is available. If anybody not able to access, let me know, I can upload it. Okay, but today only I uploaded. Okay.
Sir, what about the automation video? It's not, I'm not getting till now.
Automation?
Videos like that SharePoint.
Yeah, uploaded. Those also uploaded.
But the links that I asked yesterday, Yamini, but she didn't reply anything.
No. I uploaded it. Just now, just before the class only, I uploaded.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now let's come back to the point. So has everyone prepared manual testing documents are able to access from the zip file and extracted folder going through that, right? Okay. Just for 5 minutes, I will take attention. How is your preparation? Okay. Can anybody tell me what is priority and what is severity? Online people first. Silence. Priority and severity. Nobody. Offline people, classroom people. How much impact of the failure on the application? Okay, that is known as severity. Very good. Priority means the defect can be fixed. So how much urgency required? How fast the defect can be fixed? How much time to fix that issue? Very good. Next one. What is smoke testing and what is sanity testing? Can anybody?
Smoke testing is done after for a video verification.
Wrong statement. Smoke testing and sanity testing difference. First, smoke testing when we will do. What is the point? When we get the build from development team, we will do smoke testing. Sanity testing also, when we will get the build from the development team, we will do sanity testing. Both are build verification testing. Then what is the difference? As part of smoke, just we can check all high level spot checks, whether we can able to access every module or. As part of sanity, from every module, we can pick one or two planned test cases and we can execute those planned. After that only, we will confirm the build stability. It is a detailed build verification testing. 100% interview question, guys. What is smoke and what is sanity? Okay, next question. When you will do regression testing? No. I am asking when you will do regression testing.
When the new function.
No. For every sprint release, we are doing regression testing. Sprint means it's a 2-week span of time. Okay, when you will do regression testing means for every sprint release, we are doing regression testing. Now let's come back. What is regression testing? Re-executing of existing test cases is known as regression testing. Okay, next question. Why we have to do regression testing?
To check whether any fix are identified in the testing area.
So because of new code or new features, it might affect on the existing functionalities. So we have to do regression testing. What is retesting? Retesting.
When they added new feature for particular one, we will test.
Retesting means re-executing of particular functionality, re-executing of particular defect. Okay, specific test case which is got failed. We will do retesting. If defect is working fine, we will close it. In case not working, we can make it as failed retest and assign back to the tester. Okay, all right. Next, okay. Can anybody tell me what are the block box testing techniques? Okay, what are testing techniques? Block box testing techniques. Manual testing is like this. So on the interview, they will keep a spotlights. So you have to go through my document. You are not getting answer, right? If you are getting answer means you are able to tell the answer there itself. If you are not telling the answer in the classroom, that means you have to do practice. Just you can click on that and go through the document. Okay. So block box testing, boundary value analysis, equivalence class partitioning, state model diagram, decision table based testing, and error guessing. What the point? These 5 we discussed. Boundary value means generally developers will do mistakes at boundary condition. We will do min, max, max plus 1, max minus 1, min minus 1, min plus 1. So I had given one example. Loan advisor will approve the loan amount from 2 lakhs to 5 lakhs. So we can test all these things. Equivalence class partitioning, identifying the valid partitions and invalid partitions. Okay, and decision table based testing. For a given form, we can give under rule 1, under rule 2. We can test all these combinations. Okay, so like that. Can anybody tell me defect life cycle? First online. Online people are very quite calm. Who will tell? Anyone? Guys, we are close to by next week. Manual testing will be completed. So that's why I'm repeating that. How is your preparation going? Just keeping an attention. Okay. What is, can you please explain defect life? We default question. Defect life cycle, anybody?
There will be new fetches like assigned, rejected, or
Is
deferred.
this the way I told? No, this is Amirpet explanation. Got the point? New, pending retest, failed, closed. If you are telling like that, that means you trained in Amirpet instead.
When I log the new defect,
Ah, right. When I log the new defect,
the initial status,
status
new
is in
state.
new status.
New state.
Next.
Then
Yes, the defect to developer, the defect status will be in assigned or open status.
assigned or open.
Next, fixed by the developer, it will be in fixed status. Next, when the defect comes for testing, when the defect call
Test
comes for
environment.
testing, the defect status is in pending retest. If defect is in pending retest, it's working fine. You can retest and close it. If it is not, చెప్పండి.
If it is not again, it's
Will
assigned
retest
and
and
open.
again assign back to the developer until that issue got fixed and closed. Diagram గుర్తొస్తుంది అందరికి. So diagram గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. ఓకేనా? Right. Very good guys. పర్వాలేదు. Okay. ఇది ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్. సో మాన్యువల్ టెస్టింగ్ లో మెయిన్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్, మీ ఇంటర్వ్యూ సక్సెస్ డిసైడ్ చేసే క్వశ్చన్ అజైల్ స్క్రమ్ మెథడాలజీ. సో ఈ క్వశ్చన్ మీద, ఇన్ దిస్ క్వశ్చన్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు టాక్ అబౌట్ అట్లీస్ట్ ఫర్ 15 minutes. What are the various agile scrum ceremonies? Anybody? Agile scrum ceremonies. What are various agile scrum ceremonies? I told. Simply coming and relaxing and going. Everybody, online people and offline people. And I'm shouting on the class itself. Agile scrum ceremonies. Daily scrum call meeting, sprint planning meeting, sprint review meeting, and retrospective meeting. What is the point? Whoever will talk in the interview, they will only, those people only will be selected. Sir, I want job, how it will come? Okay. So what are various agile scrum ceremonies? Means daily scrum call meeting, sprint planning meeting, sprint review meeting, retrospective meeting. Daily scrum call meeting means it's a stand-up call conducted by the scrum master to discuss on the project updates, and each one has to give their updates, and we will come to know the project updates from the scrum master. And sprint planning means identifying the user stories from release backlogs to sprint backlogs. It is hosted by scrum master. Testers will do estimates efforts of various user stories. Sprint reviews means whatever activities that we performed, internal and external, those will be reviewed. Reviews will be performed as part of sprint. Retrospective means after completion of sprint, the release feedback meeting will be conducted by the scrum master. How the release went well, what are the problems faced, what are the challenges faced, how we can do better for the next sprint. So this kind of forum, all the BA design development team, everybody will join in that retrospective meeting. So it will, so that will be documented and it will be shared to everyone, so that the best lessons can be implemented for future releases. It is a release feedback session. Okay, so these are the agile scrum ceremonies. What is agile scrum model? Can anybody tell me? Okay, I have to already answer this. What is agile scrum methodology? Agile is a continuous iteration of development and testing the software in an incremental approach like this. Okay, agile is a continuous iteration of development and testing the software in an incremental approach. It's known as agile scrum methodology. What is the point? Guys, most of the people, they are coming to classes, that means you are not prepared. Okay, so prepare from now onwards, because we are closer to completion of manual testing by next week. Okay, just click on that and you will come to know the answers. What are, did we discuss about STLC and SDLC? What are the various STLC phases? చెప్పండి. Sir, I want job, how it will come? Everybody want job. We have to talk, right, in the interview. In the interview time, they're asking, can you please explain SDLC process? All people are they are keep quite calm only. Okay, you have to talk. That half an hour time is very important. Okay, that half an hour time is deciding your career. Okay, you have to talk. So if you want to talk, you have to go through this documentation. Otherwise, it is very difficult. STLC means requirements, test planning, test case design, test execution, and test completion. Okay, let me go through that. Requirements analysis, test planning, test case development, test environment setup, test execution, and test closure. Got the point? So you have to explain about each and every phase, SDLC process. SDLC phases, what are the phases? Requirements, design, coding, and testing. SDLC is part of SDLC. SDLC talks about only testing related activities. SDLC talks about entire project related activities at requirement level, design level, coding level, and testing level. Okay, now let me finish the last question for today. Who will tell? How do you report a defect? How do you report a defect? Anybody, online people first. Guys, I want answers from online people. How do you report a defect? Popsy, don't you already prepared. I don't want. You are telling all the answers. No, say other people. How do you report a defect? Did I told this question or not? Means how do you report a defect means while logging a new defect, what are the information that you will populate? Defect title, issue description, issued steps to reproduce, expected result, actual result, test data, severity, priority, to whom we need to assign the defect, under what test phase, and we have to attach the test screenshot evidence, and we will click on the submit. Okay, so that defect ID will be generated. All this information I will provide on the defect. Important. Okay. If you are see the moment when you will ask defect parameters, you have to come out all these headings. Steps to issue description, steps to reproduce, actual result, expected result, test environment details, test data, priority, severity, assigned to status, project test phase. I will provide all this information. If you are talking like that, who can stop your offer? Nobody can stop your offer. Okay. So within your offer, within 10 questions, if you are answering at least 7 to 8 questions, 6 to 7 questions, your interview will be clear. If you guys are not able to tell how to report the defect, how they will ensure is this guy genuinely 3 years of experience like that? Okay. So tester job is we have to log a new defect every time. You have to know what are the fields of the defect. This is common. Got the point? Okay, guys, that's it. Okay, so just go through the documentation, prepare it, get ready, because by next week we are closing to manual testing. Okay, so that's it for today's session. And okay, videos and everything will be uploaded. If not able to access or anything, just ping me and reach out.